why it's Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, everyone. It's a boy, that's Shaggy, the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Blast Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know what you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers, whatever, live it. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Ginny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Voice of the people. You can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Ibifa Dokobo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikenna Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka, Amayanabo the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
This is African News, Voice of the People television. Don't just bring you stay with us.
Voice of the people. You can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Ibifa Dokobo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikenna Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Patrick Diabwa, aka Amayanabo the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
Uyi Osarite is my name. I am a friend of the microphone. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios. Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I'll be like, well, this TV station will go places. Voice of the People TV.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV. Live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Ovisha Nelson One, your #1 celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Tosin Mohammed. I'm a gospel artist. Keep watching VOP TV.
Almighty Father, you are the mighty Redeemer. We've come to worship at your feet, oh Lord. This is Ayotunde Adejumo, chilling with you on the Voice of the People TV. Don't touch that remote. You are where God wants you to be, listening to the Voice of the People TV.
The Bible says we should give thanks in all circumstances, and all circumstances include the good times and the bad, the high times and the low, the times when everything look as if they are going well, and those times when Enugbe, the ground is dry like the sand in the desert, those times when you feel like giving up, you should give thanks still. My name is Jeff Melu, and I'm a gospel poet, and you should keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch that dial.
Yes, sir. Kábíyèsí Olúọ̀run, we were born to give you twale, to give you worship. People of God, you are watching Voice of the People TV, and my name is Flo Rocker. I encourage you to listen to things of the gospel. You know, we live in very perilous times where there are some things you watch on television, you will lose faith, you will lose God. Keep your eyes on Voice of the People TV and remain blessed. Flo Rocker says so. Kuzoshi.
On Edu Dialogue, we bring you fresh ideas and conversations, shaping the future of learning in Nigeria and beyond.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
All right, welcome to your beautiful show, Sports Republic. Of course, you know how we do it every day from the hour of 11 up until 12. We give you the juiciest stories from the world of sports. And of course, I am your host for today, Afiz Ogubanjo is my name. And you know how we do it, like I said. But before we go on, you do well and follow us on all our social media handles right here on Voice of the People. And yes, you can go on YouTube at Voice of the People TV. Join our live show, Voice of the People TV Live. And of course, yeah, you can like, subscribe to the channel, make your comments, and also turn on your notification button so you are not going to miss any exciting updates from here, Sports Republic, and also other shows we have for you on the platform. And yes, it's 3 days, yes, to the commencement of the Africa Cup of Nations right there in Morocco. Yeah, December 21st, it will be kicking off right there, yes, in the city of Morocco. Rabat, yes, in Morocco, yes, the city of Rabat, Casablanca, Fez. Other countries, other cities, will be, you know, agog for African Cup of Nations. They are going to host the best of the best. All teams, all national teams submitted. Cameroon, though, we are still looking. Who are the players that are going to make the Cameroon squad? I don't like the way FIFA is, CAF is dragging this, you know, back and forth. And we are going to break all of that down, and we have also other stories for you. I won't be doing this alone. Yes, my guest will be joining me very, very soon. And we are going to break down everything from the world of sport. Football, you know how we do that. Basketball, tennis. We are going to give you all the juiciest stories from all the sports right here on your darling show, Sports Republic. And we'll be kicking off, yes, quickly with the Carabao Cup. The semi-finals have been set. The draws have been made, you know, last night when Manchester City and Newcastle were in action. And the Carabao Cup semi-finals are set with Manchester City facing holders Newcastle. United, while Chelsea awaits the outcome of the Arsenal Crystal Palace quarterfinal match, and City secured their spot with a 2-0 win over Brentford, while Newcastle edged Fulham 2-1 with a stoppage time header from Lewis Miley. Yes, it's also good to see Yohan Wissa scoring his first goal for Newcastle United. We're talking about the Carabao Cup. And Chelsea, meanwhile, came from behind to beat Cardiff City 3-1 thanks to a brace from Alejandro Garnacho. And yes, a goal from Pedro Neto. And the semi-final first legs will be played the week of January 12, 2026, with the second leg scheduled for the week of February 2nd, 2026. And the final will take place at Wembley Stadium, yes, on March 22nd, 2026. And Chelsea, yes, they will host the first leg at Stamford Bridge, while Newcastle will welcome Manchester City to St. James's Park. And the Carabao Cup, yes, is a prestigious tournament, and these teams, yes, are eager to claim the title. Yes, you have Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca on your screen. Yes, this man, I'll just take a minute to talk about him. He might appear to be, somebody that really, really rotates with his squad, but then you can't, the results speak for him. You just can't, take away what he has done for Chelsea. He has played 89 games, 55 wins, 14 draws, and 20 defeats. That's pretty okay. 61.8% win percentage, and 2 trophies to his name, including that Club World Cup, that will be leading Chelsea 4 years. Yes, of course, with that badge with them. Good one for Enzo Maresca and also for Chelsea. And with City, Newcastle, and Chelsea in the mix, it is shaping up to be an exciting conclusion to the competition. And the remaining quarterfinal match between Arsenal and Crystal Palace is scheduled for December 23rd, 2025 at the Emirates Stadium, which will determine Chelsea's semi-final opponents. Of course, it's going to be a London derby. Yes, however it comes. If it is Arsenal or if it is Crystal Palace, it is going to be a London derby, for Chelsea and the team that plays, yes, between Crystal Palace and Arsenal. It's obviously to be an exciting game. Arsenal as well. Yes, there's all pressure on the manager, Mikel Arteta, yes, to deliver the title for them. And yeah, I don't know, my guest, Pelumi Adioshun, if you are with me, let us break this down all together. And yes, we'll be seeing the Carabao Cup, like I mentioned. Yes, sir, so let's break it all down. Manchester City have qualified. Brilliant game. Ryan Cherki, this man seems to be the bargain of the season. And also, Foden doing well for himself. Savinho getting the second goal. Pep Guardiola could rotate. I mean, Erling Haaland didn't see him in that game. Other players stepped up. Mamouche has left for the Afcon, but I don't think Manchester City will be feeling that. Also for Newcastle, yes, a 2-1 up against Fulham. Yes, the Fulham trio of Chukwueze, Bassi, and Alex Iwobi, they are not with them at the moment. They have traveled down. They are with the Nigerian national team, the Super Eagles, ready to negotiate the Afcon. Now, they got that loss up against Newcastle, who did really well. Yohan Wissa, he didn't travel with the DR Congo squad as well. He is staying back, trying to make an impression on the Newcastle fans, and he got his first goal in the first start. Now the olders are there. Manchester City are there. Chelsea are there. Arsenal or Crystal Palace, it is shaping up to be a wonderful semi-final, don't you think, Pelumi? Good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. It's a pleasure to join you once again.
Pleasure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, of course. Let's go ahead.
Yes. Like I said, it's a pleasure to join you once again this morning. And of course, interesting matchups in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals. And we're already heading into the semi-finals. And speaking of Manchester City, was a great one, just like you said. They were able to rotate. Majority of their starters were on the bench in that game. And especially in defense, we were seeing the likes of Natanake, Kusanov, Nico O'Reilly, Rico Lewis start that game. And also up front, there was a certain 18-year-old Divine Mukasa who started for Manchester City in that game. So that afforded Erling Braut Haaland chance to actually rest for this City team. And it was a great one, 2-0. Ryan Cherki has been so brilliant in the past couple of weeks for this certain Manchester City team. Well, I didn't expect anything less because we know he's got the quality. We know he's a great buy for this certain Manchester City team. But right now, they're going to be facing Newcastle, who are also a very, very difficult opposition to face. Like you said, they are the oldest, so they would also want to prove a point in this particular one. It will be interesting to see them win it back to back. in this particular competition. So it's really great one. It's shaping up really well. I'm particularly concerned about Crystal Palace Arsenal game. I think that game is going to be very, very dicey. I think that Arsenal might not have a clean shot at this game.
But don't you think they will have that advantage with the match being played at the Emirates Stadium?
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, maybe, because we know Arsenal's record at the Emirates is very, very fantastic. In all competitions, they've been doing really well at home. But then Crystal Palace are also a team that can play the role of spoilers. They can give any tough team.
They can be a bogey side.
Is what Crystal
they did
Palace
that for Liverpool.
Let me take you back to the last time. Yeah, definitely. You remember the last time these two teams met in the English Premier League? It was a years ago that separated the two sides in the English Premier League. So it was
and now it's on the other side.
It was a very tough, exactly. So it was a very, very tough one. And I think that these lesser lights are now starting to fancy their chances in this type of competitions, because they know that this is like the opportunity that they have. You can see Newcastle winning the Carabao Cup. You can see it's winning the FA Cup. So these teams they already know that these are competitions that they might not have the resources, they might not have the arsenal to go on and win the Premier League, Super League, but then these particular cup competitions where they can stage an upset, they are always fully focused on that one. So I think it's a very, very dicey game for Arsenal against Crystal Palace in their own quarterfinal game. But then I don't think anyone can say that this is whoever is going to win the competition yet. Manchester City against Newcastle. I think City are going to navigate their way against Newcastle in the semi-final.
And it's a two-legged affair.
City would want to be in the finals. Last season was very horrendous. Yeah, exactly. Last season was horrendous for City. They could not even win any major trophy last season. I don't think that Pep Guardiola would want that to happen like back-to-back seasons without winning any trophy. He wouldn't really be good. So they would also want to fancy their chances in all the available competitions, including the Carabao Cup that we are talking about. So I see City already been in the final. And whoever faces Chelsea in the other semi-final is also going to be an interesting game to actually watch out for them. And I think by the time the games will be played, the semi-finals, some African guys would not also be in the team, because some of them might still just be resting from the Afcon. And but the good news is that Chelsea have got no player going to the Afcon. Arsenal as well, no player going to the Afcon.
Yeah,
for Manchester
the one for Manchester City
might
not really be felt. It's not really a first team starter like that.
Yeah, maybe Mamouche is not a starter, but then when you look at Ranat Nouri, who is also on Afcon duties, and he might actually be felt for this Saturday Manchester City team, because he looks like the only natural left back that City have got right now. Maybe you as well too, but then Lloyd O'Reilly in that position a couple of times, and so I think it will still be a great miss, right? But I think City can navigate their ways without that one. They still next year, so we'll wait to see how those ones will actually pan out.
All right, so we are waiting to see how it's going to pan out. But for me, I think the interesting part is that it's the big boys that are playing the semi-finals at this time. Newcastle, of course, they can count themselves as the big boys. They are also defending champions of the Carabao Cup. But we have the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City, trying to go for this title. I know it's like the least fancied at, tournaments in English football for me is the Carabao Cup. But FA Cup is still, having a lot of more and more, let me say, PR this time. And of course, the Premier League. But then to see big teams, in English football vying for this title, I think is a good one on the part of the Carabao Cup. But let's talk about the team that has already won the trophy. Two sides I want to bring you into this, Pelumi. But let me take this one, because Paris Saint-Germain, good side, trying to win the Ligue 1. Look at what they did last season. Ousmane Dembele, we know, is the current Ballon d'Or. And I said, yes, of course, the Ballon d'Or, and also the FIFA the best player. Yes, of course, for 2025. Good one for Ousmane Dembele. Desiree Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Kvaratskhelia, Nuno Mendes, Achraf Hakimi can keep mentioning, Joao Neves, Vitinha. You saw how PSG did really well for themselves last season, including their former goalkeeper, Gigi Donnarumma, who is now at Manchester City. Good one for Paris Saint-Germain. And now they've gone on to pick up another silverware because they've won the FIFA Intercontinental Cup after defeating Brazilian side Flamengo 2-1 on penalties after the game ended 1-1 after extra time. And the match was played in Qatar, and PSG's goalkeeper, Matvei Savonov, we have to talk about this man, Matvei Savonov. Yes, it was the hero, saving 4 penalties. That was the last time we saw a goalkeeper saving 4 penalties, of course, to secure the win. Richard Varaskelia scored PSG's goal in the 37th minute, tapping in from a cross from Desiree Doué after Flamengo's goalkeeper, Agustin Rossi, made a mistake. He flapped at that cross and was a tap-in, of course, for Varaskelia. And Flamengo equalized through Jorginho's penalty. He's a penalty specialist, of course, in the 68th minute, awarded after a VAR review for a foul by Marquinhos on Georgian Daraskaita. And the game was intense, with both teams creating chances, but it was Safonov who stole the show in the penalty shootout. And Flamengo, of course, they are taking the lead in the shootout, but Safonov saves turned the tide in PSG's favour. Bradley Bacola and the best player in the world right now, Ousmane Dembele, they missed a penalty. Of course, missing the penalty is normal in football. But good one for Paris Saint-Germain. Good one for Matvei Safonov. I think he's going to be the number one going forward because I think in Ligue 1 games, he's been the one negotiating Ligue 1 games recently. I don't know if it's an injury to Lucas Chevalier, but Safonov has been doing well for himself, putting himself on the map, still trying to vie for that number one spot and saving 4 penalties. I saw the penalties, good one for Safonov. But on the other side, Pelumi, I want to bring you in. Is this not looking like too many games? I know it's a revamped Club World Cup. It used to be the Club World Cup where we have the winners of the Champions League, the winners of the Copa Libertadores, the Asian Champions League as well. Now that they've revamped that one into a 4-year tournament, right, that Chelsea had won this one. We saw that one with teams coming all over. It is the Club World Cup. Now, I was thinking that they were going to, take this one off totally, but they named it the Intercontinental Cup. Flamengo has won trophies upon trophies. They've played another tournament after winning the Copa Libertadores. Is this not going to lead to a burnout on these players and on this club? I know it will be racking in money for the club, but is it not going to be leading to burnout on the players? And we've been complaining for this for over 3 years. What do you think, Pelumi?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that this competition is actually unnecessary, honestly. You already brought in the revamped Club World Cup, and we saw that it is more like a competition on its own with more teams joining there. Then this so-called Intercontinental Cup, I don't think it should be necessary again. Honestly, I just think it's more games for these players. And we know more games equates to them getting exposed to injuries and all of that. But then it is just more money for FIFA. You should definitely expect that one from them. It is a way.
Can they, just look at it from the part of the players. I know it's more money for FIFA, right? But look at these players that are playing the game. Injuries are racking up. Everybody say, let's take Arsenal for example. Everybody saying, oh, they have the squad depth, they have the money to buy players, they have the squad depth now. But injuries are still telling. There are key players missing for important tournaments, for important games for their clubs. If FIFA wants to be racking in the money, can they look at it from the other side that's going to affect these players, Pelumi?
Well, sadly, in as much as I don't want to say this, but then the truth is still that injury is part of the game. You can be playing 10 games in a year and still get injured. And you can play 100 games in a year and you will be fit for everything. Although more games means that you are exposed to injuries and all of that. But then they will still want to go to a part of these guys earn a whole lot of money, honestly. I think that this is where you would see players now negotiating huge amount of money. You see their agents requesting for a huge sum. So you want to say that maybe there's a balance in that particular one. But still, it is not fair on the player. Honestly, I don't think it's fair on them that they have to play this amount of games. And the fact that it is also not equal. Okay, PSG are playing this game now because they won the UEFA Champions League. So that is like extra game for them. Now look at some other things that they are getting to compete in the Ligue 1 with. These ones that did not play the Champions League, that did not get to play in this Intercontinental Cup. Those ones will look fresh. Those ones will have more energy going. So I think it's an unfair advantage. It's more of an advantage for FIFA and for the clubs in terms of the monetary reward, and maybe for the fans too, because we get to see more games, and that is what we love to see. But for the players, the actors participating in that one, it is not actually good enough for them, and looks like they don't have a choice. Most of them, they don't have a choice, because as a player, you cannot actually select games that you are going to play. You cannot say that, okay, you don't want to be available for this game. There has to be a sacrosanct reason for you to want to miss this game, and it has to be maybe personal reasons or injuries. So these guys don't even really have the time to rest, despite the fact that they earn a whole lot of money. I'm sure that out of a week, I don't think they have rest for just more than a day, because if they are not on the field, they are training, they are in the gym, they are doing this, doing that, they are having tactical sessions.
Let me hold you there for a second. I mean, to buttress that one, Mikel Arteta had to come out and say, Declan Rice has been playing a lot of games, and he's already noticing this burnout in the English player. And he just said, if there could be just a time for the players to rest, and this game, Arsenal won't be, competition for now. In that game against Crystal Palace will be holding up on the 23rd, right? Now they have a full week. When he realized that they have that break, you could see the joy in his face that these players will be able to rest, because even if they are competing on all fronts, when you don't have the main players available, how do you want to compete? And this is trying to send a message to FIFA as well. Competitions are just coming in. In fact, I could tell you that this Intercontinental Cup, people did not even pay attention to it that much, because they felt the Club World Cup had been revamped, right? And they've played that one already. They're expecting the next one to be the next 4 years. But this one is an annual one. After this one, the next winner of the Champions League will play another Intercontinental Cup, play another Club World Cup. I mean, I don't think FIFA is really doing well at this point for themselves. But let's quickly move on to another competition. And this time, it is the Women's Champions League. Yes, we saw the Men's Champions League. We're discussing about the defending champions of the Men's Champions League. This time around is the UEFA Champions League for the women. And Barcelona, of course, Barca Femeni, any day, anytime. You trust them to beat any team, of course, in the Champions League. Though they lost the Champions League final last season to Arsenal. But Barcelona and Lyon have secured their spots in the Women's Champions League quarterfinals. And Barcelona topped their group unbeaten. Yes, it wasn't a group. It was a league phase. And they topped it unbeaten. They didn't lose. Olympique Lyon didn't lose as well. Chelsea did not lose also, and they topped with a 2-0 win over Paris FC, thanks to goals from Vicky Lopez and Caroline Graham Hansen. And Lyon, on the other hand, trashed Atletico Madrid 4-0 with Wendy Renard, and she scored the penalty, and Khadidiatou Diani and Corbin Schreider also finding the back of the net. And Chelsea made it to the quarterfinals after coming from behind to beat Wolfsburg 2-1 with Lucy Bronze and Sam Kerr. Anytime you mention Chelsea women, there must be a certain Lauren James or Sam Kerr, fantastic player she is. And Bayern Munich also grabbed the final automatic quarterfinal spot, edging out Arsenal and Manchester United by a point. And there you have it right there on your screen, the teams that have qualified. You can see Barcelona, Chelsea, Bayern, and Bayern Munich also getting that one, and Olympique Lyon, female team as well. And the knockout phase playoffs, Arsenal, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Juventus, and the Wolfsburg, Paris FC, Atletico Madrid female, and OH Leuven, who the Arsenal women actually defeated yesterday by 3-0. And Arsenal are the current holders of the Champions League. And this is beginning to look like a fluke, because when you are the holders of the Champions League, you should qualify automatically. But then I want to remind that PSG last season, did not finish, well in the league phase, but they went on to pick up the trophy, beating Liverpool that actually topped the group. So it can be like that, sometimes. And yes, like I said, Arsenal, the current holders, and Manchester United will have to go through the playoffs after missing out on the top 4 finish. But let me look at this one quickly. Look at the road to the final. We've seen the teams that have qualified. This is the bracket. The draw will be taking place today. Atletico Madrid or Leuven will be playing against either Arsenal or Manchester United. Wolfsburg or Paris FC will be playing Real Madrid or Juventus. Leuven, yes, that's for the second leg. And look at the bracket as well, to go and play the playoffs and the winners of the group, the league standings. Let me say the teams that have secured the automatic spots. Shaping up to be an exciting one, it is right now at Pelumi. Do you see Barcelona going on the way, or do you see Arsenal defending their title quickly?
Well, from what we saw last season, that Arsenal defeated Barcelona in the final, I think that one should be an eye-opener for some other teams, that Barcelona are actually beatable. Because in previous years, the only team who always who we can say that would give Barcelona a run for their money is the Olympique Lyonnais Feminine. Those are the only teams that always
How about
run
Chelsea,
the
who finished
Barcelona
unbeaten
team.
as well?
Well, Chelsea, we saw what happened when Chelsea met Barcelona last
Don't
season.
do
It
that. Don't
was
go
a
there.
drop.
Don't go there.
It was
It was a massacre.
so exactly. He didn't really go well. But then this Chelsea have actually faced Barcelona in the Champions League this season as well. And we saw how that one went. He finished in a draw. And Chelsea could have even won that game. They felt outdone by some officiating decisions in there. But I think there's an improvement in this certain Chelsea team. I think they are now more solid defensively. So I think they're also a good contender. And to also say that they finished in the top 4. They finished number 3. They didn't lose a game, just like you said, like Olympique Lyonnais and Barcelona. So I think these 3 are definitely the contenders going into this particular
How about the
one.
defending champions? You don't think Arsenal can defend this one?
Yeah, well, Arsenal maybe not, because if you look at their journey so far in this Champions League, they didn't start very well. I think
they lost to Bayern Munich as well.
They lost 2 of their first 3 games. But if you look at the opposition that they lost to Bayern Munich and they lost to Olympique Lyon. So you would want to say that, okay, these are big girls in that particular one right there. But then they also defeated Benfica. And then yesterday they defeated the OH11. Although all of this could not end them an automatic spot. Although I think that they are going to edge it in the knockout phase. They're definitely going to be one of the teams that will make it to the next round in that one. But last season, I don't even think Arsenal players saw themselves winning that one last season, especially against Barcelona in the final. A lot of people did not even see that one coming. It got to a stage that anytime Barcelona gets into the final, as long as they are not facing Olympique Lyonnais, they are definitely going to win. It's
automatically a win for them. And also, Pelumi, you can say that maybe they owe it down to a former Barcelona player, Mariona Caldente.
Yeah, definitely.
And now,
definitely.
Let me ask you quickly now before we move on, Pelumi. Arsenal, Barcelona in the final. Is Arsenal going to do it again, or will Barcelona take it this time?
Well, I don't know if Arsenal players would have that sort of motivation that they had. Because for me, honestly, I think that as an Arsenal player or as an Arsenal coach, I will really feel pained by what happened at the Ballon d'Or and FIFA the best.
Exactly.
I don't understand why Arsenal players were overlooked in that one. And you're giving a certain Bomati who was injured for a larger part of the season. Yeah,
but Martin lost the final. Sorry, Pelumi. But Martin lost the final to Arsenal, to Mariona Caldente, who also have other players like Alessia Russo. She also lost the Euros finals to the English ladies. So what's going on?
My point exactly. So, like I said, I think I've said it on this show before that it looks like those in charge of women football, they just pick up their phones and just search for maybe the trending women footballers and they'll like, okay, let us just put their names there. Yes, you can write it down. Aitana Bomati's name is going to be in contention next time out again. So it looks like this. So as an Arsenal player, I might feel like, okay, what else do you want me to do? Winning the UEFA Women's Champions League and I'm still not getting recognized. So they might just eventually allow this one to slide. They might not get that sort of a motivation. Then I think Arsenal last season are different from Arsenal this season. Even in the WSL, Arsenal have not been all that so far this season. They have actually struggled. It has been about Manchester City and Chelsea so far this season. So I think it's a different ball game from what the Arsenal that we saw last season and from the Arsenal that we see this season. All of this would play a major role in determining which team would eventually win the UEFA Women's Champions League.
All right, Pelumi, and let's move on to this one. For me, this one is a rather sad one. We've been calling this out for a long time, and it's sad that it is still happening in Nigerian football. And this is talking about a former Remo Stars player, Olamilekun Adams, and the media officer of Sporting Supreme FC of Abuja, Nelson Mobogu. Yes, they were brutally assaulted by Nigerian police officers last Wednesday after a Nigerian National League NNL game against the Bichi First FC of Kano. And the incident occurred at the Buhari Stadium in Abuja, where Adams, a former player of the Abuja-based club, is a former player of the club, and he was supporting his former team. And according to Adams, he was mistaken for an irate fan and beaten by police officers when he tried to intervene on behalf of a player that was assaulted. And you could see that right there on your screen. And Mobogu, who was also present, corroborated Adams' account, stating that they were taken to the station and beaten again. After taking to the station, they were beaten again. And the club's management bailed them out and took them to the hospital for medical checks. And this incident It's not an isolated case, actually, Pelumi, and we've seen it in the past, as Nigerian players have been brutalized by police, in the past. And in October 2024, former Super Falcons player Maureen Umadu was defamed, unlawfully arrested, and brutalized alongside players in our academy, rather. Pelumi, we've been calling this out for a long time. What is going on? What do we have to do right now? The NPFL, the NNL, the NLO. What is with teams from Kano and Nigerian football, Pelumi? What is going on? Because these teams look like they will be painting teams from Kano a bad picture. It's with Kano Pillars, that one is like a yearly thing. You must see it season in, season out. You must witness a case of assault, farm violence from Kano Pillars. They get sanctioned every year, but they still repeat the same thing. Now it's BTFC. What do you make of that account, and what do you think should be done quickly, Pelumi?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's the height of lawlessness. Unfortunately, those that are supposed to actually uphold the law are the ones now breaking the law. The sad situation of the country that we have found ourselves in. I saw pictures and I saw videos of what happened, and it was so sad.
So sad.
It was a gross one to actually see that a professional footballer was treated like a thief. That is the way they actually treated him, and it is very, very bad seeing that particular one. And to also state that this certain player just got signed by a club based in Czech Republic. I think it was in October that he got that deal.
So what is that painting for the club now? It's going to be embarrassing for that club to see their player being, maltreated like this.
Yeah, honestly, and I really do hope that and feel that they take it up. Because if they don't take it up, if something is not done, we'll keep saying stuff like this. If they don't take it up, okay, they were taken to the station again, and these guys actually got beaten. Then what happens to the officers? Okay, you took him for someone else, and they actually brutalized him like that. When you found out that he's not the person, then is that going to be some sort of compensation? Is that going to be some sort of treatment? I know it's the club and even the player himself that will still be responsible for treating himself like that. So does that mean that those officers that carried out that one, they have gone scot-free?
They've gone.
Tomorrow, next tomorrow,
like.
they find someone else again, and they do this to that. It is very, very sad, honestly. It is something that should not be happening to anyone, not even a footballer alone. It's something that should not be happening to anyone. You are witnessing police brutality, something that we have always been against in times past. I think the police that actually carried this one out, they should actually be punished. They should be punished severely. I was seeing pictures. This can cause even like the trauma that this can actually cause. When you see that the person that's supposed to protect you is the one attacking you again. And for his club side too, it's a bad image for Nigeria. Honestly, it's a bad image. You never can tell. Yeah, maybe this certain club have they might want to release. Maybe there's a competition in there in Nigeria, and they will be justified if they say that, oh, this player you're not allowed to go. Don't go there. You just stay with your club and all of that, and they will be justified in doing that one. A certain player who probably came home from for the holidays, feel
just
like,
to come and support his former team, just to come and support his former side. He also played for Remo Stars. Why can't you have a peaceful game just because a goal was scored and you're against it, and now the police that were supposed to even try to separate, you said you are mistaking him for a fan.
Exactly.
That's bad explanation for me.
We see this happen several times, and we see these players come home and maybe to have fun. Okay, we are in the month of December. We'll start seeing most of these players abroad come home, meet with their friends and families and all of that. I could remember the story of Peter Olayinka of Slavia Prague. Then when he came home, he had something similar to this with the police. I think he was a musician who had to step in and say that, oh, don't you guys know him? This is the person he is and all that. Does he have to get to that point before we would say that we are safe in our own country? Honestly, it's very sad. Like I said, that heads should definitely roll in this one. If we are serious, if we know what we are doing, heads must definitely roll. Peace must not be allowed to go scot-free.
Hopefully heads will roll, Pelumi, but you know how it is in Nigeria. Those policemen may not even be identified at the end of the day. But let's keep talking about the Super Eagles. I mean, that one is from club football in Nigeria, but let's talk about Super Eagles right now, because the national team, yes, we saw that game up against Egypt where they lost 2-1 in the pre-tournament friendly, but they have ended their 5-day pre-tournament camp in Cairo, Egypt, and are set to depart for their tournament base in Fez, Morocco today. And the team, led by coach Eric Sekuchel, has been preparing for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, which kicks off on December 21st, 2025 in Morocco. And yes, they had the 27-man squad in camp, but right now, Paris FC forward Moses Simon has joined them. And quickly on your screen, let's look at the players that are in camp right now. All the players are in, and let's see all the players that are in camp. And we have Francis Uzor, Stanley Wabali, Fisaya Dili Bashiru, Ebenezer Akinsomiro, Amos Obasoje, also there. Semi Ajayi is there, Wilfred Ndidi, Ademola Lukman, Bright Asai Samuel, Igor Ogbu, Tochukwu Nadi, Rafael Onyedika, of course, also in camp. Victor Osimhen, of course. I know that a lot of Nigerians are like, all those other players you are mentioning, why haven't you mentioned Victor Osimhen? Because that's the main man. Once he's in camp, it's all good to go. Samuel Chukwueze, Salim Fago, Lawal is there. Ryan Alibioshu, Chidera Ejuke, Akko Adams, Cyril Dessers, and also the likes of Bruno Oyemechi and all of that. We have all the players in camp. And the last time we spoke, Pelumi, we were still waiting for the final list to drop. Or did we discuss about the final list? Yes, either way. But right now, we've seen these players in camp. What's your take on Salim Fago? Do you think he's going to have a big role to play at the Afcon?
Well, I think I'm going to be straightforward at this. I don't see him, actually. I don't see him being that guy. I don't see him getting enough playing time, honestly, because of the guys that are in Super Eagles camp right now. Because I don't think he's going to get the moment. And I think he had the chance to also audition during the friendly game against Egypt. And I would say, I was not really impressed with what he had then. And we know that Super Eagles attacking position is it's pretty straightforward. Victor Osimhen is definitely going to get the nod to start. And if in case we need two forwards, it's going to be a certain Akko Adams
and Victor Osimhen, yes.
Right, yeah, exactly. And if we now want to turn to the bench, I'm sure that the first substitute option would definitely be a certain Paul Onuachu at this point in time.
Who wasn't even impressive in that game against Egypt. I don't think he has adapted to African football. I don't think he will adapt.
Yeah, well, maybe. Time will tell. This is another challenge. He has not really done well with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And hopefully he gets his chance from the bench, of course, this time around in this tournament. But I would still also say that Cyril Dessers would still even get the nod ahead of Salim Fago. So I think Salim Fago is down the pecking order as far as the striking position is concerned. So he might not get the moment. And if you don't get the minutes, how do you want to impress? So I don't think that we should expect a lot from this certain guy. And we know one thing with Eric Chell. Eric Chell loves going with the players that he trusts, the players that he knows.
That's why I called him Wabali.
Exactly.
Even in spite of injuries and his coach saying that he might be out for a long time, he still went on to call the Chippa United man.
Yeah, so Eric Chell is definitely going to stick with these guys that he has known for a long time, the guys that he has worked with. So I don't see a certain Salim Fago or a certain Usman Mohamed just breaking into any of those positions just like that.
If you can play maybe from the wings, because also we learned that Moses Simon also might be injured. But for me, if he's going to that tournament as a striker, we have 4 strikers ahead of you. I don't know why it's still called, but I mean, it is what it is with the NFF and also with the Super Eagles at this point. But like I said, the last time we're still looking for Eric Chell to drop down his final squad, and there they are, and hopefully all we can do is just to wish them all the best when the Afcon tournament starts, because that game against Egypt, if that game is to be used to weigh down anything, I think we still have a long way to go. But then we didn't put in our best legs, talking about the likes of Victor Osimhen and the rest of them. But let's hope for the fantastic Afcon. Now, still staying on the Afcon, let's quickly look at the groups. We have 6 groups. It is starting in 3 days right there in Morocco. Let's look at Group A, where we have the likes of Morocco, Mali, and Zambia. Let's look at the squad list quickly, and let's talk about the danger men. Let's start with Morocco, the hosts at Pelumi right now. Let's do this together, as we try to wrap up on the show today. Morocco, of course, their danger man. I don't know, should be a striker, right? That's talking about the Moroccans. The danger man should be a striker. But I think right now, when we mention Morocco, the first name that will come to your mind is the right back, and that's Achraf Hakimi. But we saw other players that were called up by Walid Regragui. We have the likes of Elise Ben Seguir. We have the likes of Brahim Diaz. Yusuf Nesiri is also there. Who is that player that you think will light up Morocco? And do you think they can go all the way this time around, because they don't really do well, when it comes to Afcon? Do you think they will go all the way this time around as they are hosting, also to win on home soil?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big task ahead of Morocco. In fact, out of all of the nations that will be in AFCON, I think the big pressure is definitely on Morocco. They've never won it before, and they've participated in, I think they've participated in close to actually win it. As a matter of fact, they have not even come close. They have not got to the semi-finals before. Their best ever finish is the quarter-final. Then you see them. In fact, they have crashed out in the group stage a couple of times. Then most times in the round of 16. So the tournament has not really been decent for a certain Morocco. But now hosting and with the investment that this team has actually put together, the number one in Africa, they need to actually win this particular tournament. So I think they would be wanting to host to win this one. Ivory Coast also hosted to win the last time. So Morocco might want to take a cue from that one. And they've got fantastic players, just like you said. And now with Ashraf
I don't know the
Hakimi,
best squad right
maybe,
now. Believe me, I don't know the best squad right now between Morocco and Senegal because these players have bundles of talent. And there are some players they didn't even call. The likes of Igamane, they call Igamane, is on standby and is doing well for Lille. There are other players that they didn't even call at all, and they are doing well.
It shows that these guys have got quality, and that is one thing that we always brag as Nigerians, that we have the best squad in Africa, we have the most valuable squad and all of that. But I think that one is a thing of the past now. I think our eyes should have opened now that maybe we don't really have the squad, and the only thing we have is just Victor Osimhen in that our team. But then looking at this Moroccan squad, yes, they've got fantastic guys. Nesiri with Fenerbahce, Ayoub El Kabi with Olympiacos. I think these are going to be the go-to guys in front of goal for this
Abdel
Moroccan
is also
team.
there somewhere.
Yeah, as our Louis of Real Betis, we saw what he did with this Real Betis team last season. And even in the Conference League, it was a thorn in the flesh of Chelsea in the Conference League final last season.
Till he went off, and that was a Chelsea 2 control.
Exactly. So that was like the moment for Chelsea. And there's also Saibari of PSV, Eindhoven.
Sofian Rahimi, Azedin Unahi. These guys are good players. There's Brahim Diaz. When you see Brahim Diaz in your attacking lineup, I mean, what else do you want?
Yeah, so they've definitely got the quality in front and at the back. Because if you look at their defense line, there's Mazzari of Man United, there's Naif Aguerd of Olympique Marseille, there's Romain Saiz who played with Wolverhampton. And so they have a very, very strong squad actually, and they can go ahead to actually win this one. But then most times in competitions, the best team don't get a win most times. It might just be one of these teams that will just be like an underdog that will just stage an upset and then you get out. You might just be unlucky in the quarterfinal or semi-final stage and then you lose out on penalties. That is just the sad reality of things as far as this competition is concerned.
I mean, we saw what Cabo Verde, the likes of Cabo Verde, Comoros, we saw what they've done in previous, Afcon tournaments. I mean, look at the highest goal scorer of the last tournament, Emilio Unsue. So Guinea.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is just the excitement of the Afcon at Pelumi, and I think this one as well. We are going to, enjoy this tournament just like we are going to enjoy the World Cup, trust me, in 2026. And Pelumi, of course, we are going to be here together, to dissect everything as the tournament, commences, and of course as it goes on right there in Morocco. This is where we have to call. Let's say bias on the show today. Let us call the curtains and let's put it down on the show Sports Republic today. Pelumi, I would say thank you so much for being with me so far on this show today. And of course, like I said, when the Afcon commences and as it goes on, we'll be here to break it all down group by group. And let's see how the games will pan out right there in Morocco. Thank you very much for coming on with me, Pelumi Adeosun. And we hope to do this one more time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Pelumi. And yes, this is where we'll be calling it quits. And I will say, enjoy the rest of the day. I am Afiz Ogubanjo. Bye for now.
For the extraordinary. Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice